Let the fun begin. Good morning from New Jersey, everybody. Pushing north. You know, I gotta be honest, every time you step into another state, I just can't help but reflect back on this entire journey. And, you know, I count my blessings often, but it's really a time to reflect back on everything and just kind of remind yourself why you're out here, and just kind of taking it all in here this morning. Trail was absolutely spectacular. Rained last evening. Taking you back to yesterday, we had 18 miles and some change. Free fall. Had a very good friend that he had gone to college with, and he grew up in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and his family still resides there. And those two met in college, and Kevin came out yesterday with us and spent a whole day hiking with us. 18 miles and some change. And when we hiked back to Kevin's car, Buckler and I were also invited back to Kevin's home, of course along with Freefall. I just want to send a very special thank you out to Kevin and his family, and even their little dog Milo, who was pretty awesome. Welcomed us into their home. You know, all the important hiker things: shower, laundry, some great food last evening. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Kevin, and your family. Huge hiking family. They enjoy the great outdoors. Thanks again.
Oh my God!
My thoughts on Rocksylvania. Does it deserve the nickname that it has been given? Rocksylvania, Pennsylvania. Now that I have finally hiked every mile of my home state, what are my thoughts? First and foremost, I'm going to give two different trains of thought on it. Elevation was not bad at all. Just a series of, you know, at the absolute most, maybe 1,000-foot climbs, maybe maybe even 12 to 1500. Really, Pennsylvania is relatively flat compared to Virginia, I will say that. But the first perspective I would like to give, although I'm not a SOBO or a southbound hiker who will begin at Katahdin and make my way to Springer Mountain in Georgia, I think from the perspective of a SOBO, and this is an assumption of course, they start out, they do all the toughest stuff on the trail in the beginning. So by the time they get to Pennsylvania, they're like, there's no rocks here, you know, myth busted. But for someone like myself who started in Georgia and I've been making my way north, I would agree 100% with the title of Rocksylvania, because although there are some rocky sections throughout all of the southern states that I've already been through, I believe that Pennsylvania has the highest concentration thus far of rocks along the trail. I also think that a lot of folks, when they think rocks, they're thinking only big rocks, big boulders. Well, when you first hit Pennsylvania and you're a northbounder and you cross the Mason-Dixon line, a lot of hikers, and I live in that area, so a lot of hikers are expecting big boulders the size of VW bugs. That is not the case. They will soon find out that they're spending probably the first 150 miles of Pennsylvania hiking through some just average elevation, some average size rocks, couple rocky areas, and even strolling through you know, several miles of farmers fields with just flat terrain. A lot of people think, you know, hey, is this it? Is this all Pennsylvania has to offer? Well, then you get up around what I feel is the area of you know, possibly Port Clinton, and you get into the sections where, again, you know, we're not talking about big boulders. Big boulders, there are some of those areas, and they're easy to step across, easy to negotiate. But what I consider to be the toughest part of Rocksylvania, I talked about this in episode 31 and 32 when I was up around the pulpit and up around the pinnacle, and it turns into miles and miles of tightly compressed rocks, smaller rocks, and all kinds of jagged edges just sticking up out of the trail. And when I say miles and miles, I'm probably going to estimate in the end maybe 30 to 40 miles of nothing but tightly compressed rocky section. We're talking rocks about the big as softballs to maybe footballs. And every time you take a step and put pressure on your feet, it's just twisting and turning and jagging and rolling and grinding your feet down. And I feel that that is what, you know, Rocksylvania represents right there. In fact, I'm going to give you an easy analogy here. I've kind of come up with the idea that it is the Lego walk of death for hikers. That is what I've kind of come up with as far as an analogy for Rocksylvania. Imagine putting your pack on and walking barefoot over 100 yards of Legos, and once you get to the end zone, that is how your feet are going to feel at the end of the day after spending one of those, you know, 15 to 20 mile sections of those compressed rocks. The Lego walk of death for hikers. Sounds like a plan.
Oh, it's funny because I didn't know you were coming.
Enjoying some great views along the trail here today. We are being chased by a pretty large thunderstorm right now, and I feel pretty confident it's going to catch up to us. We do need to rain though. It did rain a little bit last night, but there definitely are some issues with the water sources. I know I've been talking about that quite a bit. We're just managing it, carrying all the extra water we need. No problems with anything yet. We're just addressing those issues as they come. Stopped in at the Mohican Outdoor Center for a quick lunch. Very hiker friendly there, real nice people. And we're able to get some fruit smoothies and some sandwiches. And it was really nice to get a through hiker discount, so that was pretty cool as well. Have no idea where we're gonna hang our hats tonight. When I say we, I mean myself and some of the folks I'm hiking around. Let's see here, Boy MacGyver, 5-0, Rudy, Billy, Buckler, Monk, Freefall, if I didn't say that. So we're kind of moving around each other here today, but the first shelter area was like 25 miles from where we started. Some tent sites in between. So we're probably going to end up with one of those. So the next segment is probably going to be me getting soaking wet, which I will welcome it today. Another very, very hot day. I mean, it just takes so much out of you. You really got to stay hydrated and stay on top of that, because it will catch up to you real quick. And get to share yet another view with you guys. Just look at this. New Jersey, you've been good to us so far. But terrain that of Pennsylvania is still happening, which is kind of expected. You know, when you get in one state to another, it's not, terrain stops and yeah, there's nothing. But still great to be out here, even in all the heat and humidity.
Engines. So we go out west.
All right, everybody, I'm actually up here just at the base
smoke jumpers, then the hot shots,
of the fire tower. You can hear the gentleman here talking to Freefall down on the ground, giving you guys a 360 here view. And the storm that I had heard coming, luckily, has moved on. But apparently there are some more cells coming in later on this evening. And apparently this fire tower here is manned during every drought. And the gentleman just said he's been up here since February. Unless, of course, it is raining. He lives in a local town here. Pretty awesome. All right, everybody. Like I said, it's an extremely, very, very hot today. Heat advisory continues. If you have any doubt of how hot it is today, Buckler is about to demonstrate how sweaty we are. Take it away, Buckler. And that is his shirt. And he already rang it out halfway, but I'd actually stopped him and asked him to do it again. And that is all sweat right there. And we got to stay ahead of that curve with hydration.
The ponies at Grayson Highlands would be so happy right now.
Oh my. That's Billy Goat there, everybody. Everybody camped out at mile 1313.9, our first official day in New Jersey. It's going to give us 16.9 miles for the day. Our first storm has already moved through. We've been dodging these thunderstorms all day long, and one of them finally convinced us to set up camp for the evening. So also passed the 1,300 mile marker today, and this is what happens when you get your record button and pause button confused. You end up without footage of actually stumbling upon the 1,300 mile marker, but I was lucky enough to be able to take a picture standing there. So here's a nice shot of my feet standing there at the 1,300 mile marker. Another 00 milestone. I will definitely take it. And digging New Jersey so far, although day number 1 here, and we knew this coming into it was going to be indicative of that of Pennsylvania terrain, but we definitely had lots of great views today, so we will definitely take it. Thanks everybody for watching Wild on a Trail. Do appreciate everyone, all of my new subscribers. Welcome, so much. Thank you for joining me on my journey to Katahdin. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care. Good night.